Am I the asshole for forcing my way into my boyfriend's house to get my best friend's cockatoo? Hello all. I, 24 female, am very displeased about the whole situation. My childhood best friend Libby, 22 female, has a red-tailed black cockatoo named Carrot Cake. She's had him since she was 5, so she is very attached to him. She only went to a community college to just stay home and be near Carrot Cake. All of our mutual friends love Carrot Cake, and so do I. We all used to just hang out at Libby's house, mostly when we were kids, just to be with Carrot Cake. My boyfriend Lincoln, 26 male, loves birds. He owned a few small ones. I did tell him about Carrot Cake, and he did get really intrigued and interested. He wanted to meet Carrot Cake. We had only been dating for 2 months at this point, and he hadn't met Libby, only a few of my other friends. He did ask questions, and I assumed he was just intrigued and didn't think much of it. Libby asked me to watch Carrot Cake as she was visiting her grandparents in another state, and I agreed. This wasn't my first time. Libby dropped Carrot Cake off, and he's been doing great. He's very loving and active, and I let him fly around. I invited Lincoln over as he was staying the night, and he invited his best friend Maxon. Both were playing games and doing their own thing. I was napping during the whole thing, until I heard loud squawking and wings flapping like crazy. I woke up and walked into my office to see Lincoln trying to grab Carrot Cake. Maxon was standing there just watching. It was very obvious that Carrot Cake was stressed. I scolded both of them, asking why they were in my office and why they were bothering Carrot Cake. Lincoln told me he wanted to hold Carrot Cake. I told him he is not familiar with you or Maxon, so he is scared. Lincoln tried to argue, but I told them to go in the living room. I told Maxon to leave. I made sure Carrot Cake was okay, and he was. I put him in his cage and made sure to cover his cage so he could sleep. I locked my office at this point and had the keys in my room with me. I told Lincoln not to go into my office without me and went back to sleep. When we woke up, my boyfriend was gone and my keys were misplaced. I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. So I went to check on Carrot Cake, and he was not there. I freaked out and just knew Lincoln had taken him. I called and texted him until he answered. I asked him to please tell me he had Carrot Cake, and he said he did. I asked why, and he said he wanted to watch Carrot Cake for a day. I just hung up and drove to his house. Once I got there, I knocked like crazy and told him to open the door. He opened a little bit, but I barged in and got Carrot Cake. Lincoln was telling me I couldn't barge in, but I just walked by him and drove back home. I told Libby about the whole thing, and she was grateful I got Carrot Cake back safely, but also very distraught about the whole situation. Lincoln and his friends messaged me that I couldn't just barge into someone's house. I feel like I did the right thing, though. Am I the asshole? Edit. To the people saying this is AI, I get my English is not perfect. I ain't a robot, or I hope I'm not, lol. Edit 2. I get my English is garbage. I'm sorry for overusing the word did. Not the asshole. But I hope you mean ex-boyfriend now. Lincoln and his friends did message me that I couldn't just barge into someone's house. Well, you can't just steal someone else's pet either. But here we are. You did what you had to do. Don't let these idiots make you feel bad about it. Not only stealing the pet, but breaking into a locked office to steal it. Don't wait. You can't barge into his house, but he can steal your friend's bird out of your house. Those 2 idiots should be in jail. Next time they bring this up, you tell them you will call the police and file a report over the stolen bird, and the police can determine who broke the law. Why are you with someone who would disregard your wishes, break into your office after you locked it, steal a bird you are pet sitting, claim you broke into his house, and then sided with his friend over you? I may have to change my comment and say, yes, you are the a-hole for staying with this jerk. He doesn't care about you. Wake up. Not the asshole. He stole the bird. He's lucky you didn't report him to the police, and maybe you should in case he tries to turn the tables on you. Lincoln has shown you who he is. Believe him. He's untrustworthy, immature, and entitled. Thank God you got CC back. Food for thought, a quick Google search gives a value of 15 to 40 CAD for this bird. Definitely into felony territory for theft. Not the asshole, but your boyfriend is terrifying. Like, this is such weird behavior. I know terrifying is a little dramatic, but the way he deliberately waited until you were asleep to kidnap a bird, that's so weird and also so stupid. There's no way he wouldn't get caught. I would never trust him again. This is such insidious and oafish behavior. He sounds slimy, sneaky, and dumb. You need to run. He's lucky that he isn't locked up for felony theft, as those birds can cost more than $1,500. I hope you're not with this jackass anymore, not the asshole. This situation is very upsetting and concerning. I can't believe that someone would take their partner's friend's pet without permission and then refuse to give it back. It's a clear violation of trust and boundaries. Love Buggy's boyfriend and his friend's behavior is completely unacceptable. I just can't understand why they would think it's okay to enter someone's office without permission, take a beloved pet, and then refuse to give it back. This is not only disrespectful, but it's also potentially illegal. It's clear that Love Buggy did the right thing by going to get carrot cake back. She should not feel bad about standing up for her friend and the bird. I mean, come on, who does that kind of thing? Love Buggy's boyfriend and his friend should be held accountable for their actions. Have you ever experienced a situation where someone you trusted did something completely outrageous and disrespectful? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's move right into our next Reddit post. Am I the asshole for dropping off my stepkids with my in-laws and saying that they are not my problem anymore? My wife passed away just before last Thanksgiving. It came out of nowhere, and I am somewhat broken. To make it worse, my stepkids have decided that since I'm not their father, they don't have to obey me anymore. They are teens, and they have never been my biggest fans. They love their dad, and I was only ever their mom's husband. However, when Dina was alive, they treated our home well and me with respect. After she died, they became difficult. Yes, I know their mom died. It sucks. But that was my wife and the mother of my children. I am also having a tough time dealing. Their paternal grandparents are also being unpleasant to me for not being more understanding of all they are going through. I have tried. I have offered them counseling. I have given them space. I have been there for them. I am at my wit's end. The last straw was when we were over there for supper last week. I said it was time to go, so I could get the little kids to bed. My stepkids said that they didn't want to go and that I should leave them and come back for them. It is a 2-hour drive. I said no. Their grandparents said I was being too hard on them and that I should let them stay. I'm having a hard time with 2 small children, the loss of my wife, and 2 teen difficult children, without having my in-laws pile on to make my life more difficult. So I did. I also packed up their stuff. Instead of coming back for them, I dropped off their stuff at their grandparents' house. I have 2 kids under 5 to take care of. I don't really have time to baby 2 teens that are just making my life harder. My house is clean for the first time in weeks. My kids are sleeping through the night. My stepkids are living with their uncle in the same city as me, so they can finish high school with their friends. Everyone on their dad's side is against me. I really don't care. I was told by both of them and by their father that I am not to try and parent them. So I'm not. I actually do not have any parental rights over them. Their dad was not even okay with me being a contact for them at school. So his parents bear the contact. My wife left behind a small life insurance policy, which I will divide between the 4 kids. But I was the breadwinner in my house. I bought pretty much everything there for the last 8 years. So now it's all mine. My in-laws are calling me an asshole for abandoning the kids, but I have 2 kids that need me more. The older 2 have a dad as well as grandparents to help them. My kids do too, I guess, but they also have me, and I want them to have a peaceful home. Info: if the teens don't have you as an emergency contact because of their father, why did they not go to live with their father immediately or nearly immediately after your wife's death? I am very sorry for your loss as well and feel bad for everyone here, to be certain. Their father works at a FIFO camp. He has no permanent home. I am probably going to be in the minority, but I think not the asshole. They have lost their mom. absolutely right, so you would expect trouble and playing up, etc. But what I don't understand is why their dad has not swooped in. If you were such a hindrance, where is he? As long as everyone is happy, including all kids and yourself, I wouldn't fret about anything, as I cannot see what you have done wrong here. You haven't left them on the streets. You have left them with family, and they are happy. If Daddy is so worried, he can step in, can't he? But what I don't understand is why their dad has not swooped in. If you were such a hindrance, where is he? OP answered, he is in a FIFO camp, so has no permanent residence, and it sounds like he has no intention to changing that since the teens are living with their uncle now. Not the asshole. If what you say is true, and you've done everything within your power to help them grieve and transition going forward without their mom, then what else can you do? It sucks for the other two kids losing that day-to-day contact with their siblings, but it may be better for all involved, especially if the teens hold contempt for the little ones. If their father wasn't willing to step up right away, then that says a lot about the dad and the in-laws, in my opinion. Wash your hands of that family, as they will only try to harm you going forward. They're lashing out especially because the usual buffer between them and OP is gone. Yes, they're teenagers, but their paternal grandparents should recognize that OP is dealing with losing his wife while raising their two young kids, not to mention during the Christmas season, traditionally family-oriented at a time when the family is very fragmented. The grandparents should have been the ones to step in to try to temper their grandchildren, or the father. They can't get mad at OP for dropping parental responsibility when everyone has made it clear they don't see OP as being in a parental position for the teenagers. It's abundantly clear OP is only tolerated as a resource rather than as a person who is grieving. But he doesn't even have any support person, he mentions. Not the asshole. Why are you looking after children who you have no parental rights over and who hate you? What the hell happens if you need to give medical consent for something? They're acting out, but they have a living parent and grandparents who can step up and look after them. Though, as they're now living with their uncle, it looks like the conflict was about them not wanting to do this, but also not supporting you in doing this. Not the asshole. First and foremost, I'm deeply sorry for your loss. You're doing your job, and that's to take care of yours. It sounds like these kids' family is perfectly content letting you handle raising their kids/grandkids and then being critical when things don't go according to what they want. What's curious to me is that their father is still alive and they aren't with him. After the dust settled, following their mother dying, he should have become their primary parent. But instead, he's part of the peanut gallery criticizing you. You did nothing wrong. Don't let these people make your life more miserable than it is. I hope you can find peace. This situation is definitely sad and complex. The fact that the poster has been put in this position after the sudden passing of his wife is incredibly difficult. It is heartbreaking that the stepkids are lashing out and showing no respect for the man who took care of them for so long. On top of that, the in-laws are not being supportive and are adding to the burden. It's understandable why the poster felt compelled to make the decision to drop off the stepkids with the in-laws and focus on taking care of his own young children. I can't imagine how overwhelming it must be for the poster to go through all of this and then be faced with criticism and judgment from the in-laws. It's clear that he is trying to do what's best for everyone involved, including the older kids, but is not receiving any support. The fact that their father is not stepping in to take on a more active role is also concerning. How is the poster managing to cope with all of this, on top of taking care of his own young children? How is he dealing with the emotional toll of what has happened? Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.